Now that Linda has given an explanation of the Insights Discovery graphs, I'd like to share with her what's happening in my graphs and then give her a chance to share her graphs with me as well. We'll also see how they compare to each other.
That sounds great.
If you look at my conscious graph, that's exactly how I answered the questions on the evaluator. So it's how I see myself when I'm self-aware. It shows that I lead with very high yellow energy.
It actually looks like you've maxed out the yellow energy.
Yeah, in this case, it does mean that I chose the yellow word pair on every single question, so I do like to enjoy the moment and engage with others enthusiastically. But right below it, you can see I've got pretty high red energy as well at 76%.
So that would suggest that while you want to enjoy the journey, you're still very much about making sure that you're driving results too.
Yep. And both my red and my yellow energy are above the midline, so that suggests that I show red and yellow energy frequently. What color energies do you have above the midline in your conscious graph?
Over the midline, I've got high red and high yellow energy, just like you. They're both at 89%, meaning I need to enjoy the journey just as much as I need to execute and drive results quickly.
That's interesting to me because I see a lot more red energy in how you show up with me. You're always trying to get things done and trying to get me to get more things done at a pace that's a little faster than my natural style.
Well, I definitely have a call to action that's quicker than yours, which is probably why you see more red in me than you do in yourself. Even though you exhibit a lot of red, it's funny that I feel the need to push you along even at a faster pace.
It is.
Probably not fair to insist that people around me all operate at the same speed that I do.
If we look at our lower color energies, we both have similar amounts of green and both have very low blue energy.
It makes you wonder as a couple how we take care of the details at all. I suspect that maybe we don't, and we hope that somebody else does.
Well, it is interesting how similar we are. Not every couple shows up as close to each other in the Insights graphs as we do. You can see we're both highly extroverted with high red and yellow energy, which explains our loud and energetic household. Now, Linda, tell me about your less conscious persona graph, which is what you're like when you're not thinking about how you're showing up.
So when I wake up in the morning, I show very high yellow energy, but also over the midpoint is my red energy. So that would suggest that naturally, my more natural self still has that drive for action, but not quite as much as I do when I put my game face on.
And when I look at my less conscious graph, it's very similar to my conscious graph. That suggests that when I think about how I'm showing up, especially for work, I don't change very much from my natural style. I don't try and show up differently, which is why both my graphs are so similar. As a result, I don't have a lot going on in the middle graph, which we call preference flow. Preference flow is how we are channeling our energies up or down when we think about showing up consciously. If you look at my preference flow, you can see that I'm pushing up a little bit of green energy. It means I'm trying to be a little more amiable, patient, and caring when I think about showing up for the benefit of others. My red also goes up just a little bit, not much. What's happening in your preference flow?
My largest spike up is earth green energy, and that's because I start with very little earth green in my natural or less conscious persona. But when I become consciously aware of myself, especially thinking about work, I really try to be a little more calm, patient, and relaxed. I know that this shows up for me as each time I finish delivering a workshop, I make a point to send a note or call my teammates who've helped put the program together, and I thank them for all the work that they did. Making that call doesn't naturally come easy for me, but I recognize that I connect better with the team when I thank them for the hard work that they've done, because they all have a lot of earth green energy and really like to be appreciated for their efforts. Just like the effort you make to push up your red, I do the same thing trying to bring actually a little more red energy to my game face when I show up at work. But then I've got a little more going on my preference flow than you do. I see that I'm dropping my yellow energy down just a bit, but not much. I'm really dropping down the amount of blue energy more than anything that I bring to work. This bringing less blue energy makes me wonder why I'm not actually trying to be more analytical, cautious, and precise when I put on my game face. It's probably because I really don't like managing details or processes that I associate with cool blue energy. I'm really more of a fire, ready, aim type style.
Yes, you are. My preference flow is just 10.5%, so I really don't experience the Sunday scaries much at all. Probably because I really enjoy what I do, and I feel that the way I'm naturally wired is a good way for me to show up to do the work that I do. There's no one number in the preference flow that's right for anyone, but what we'd like to get you thinking about is how do you feel Sunday afternoon when you're preparing for work? Some people feel tension and stress, and other people are thrilled and excited when they think about who they're choosing to be for the work that they do. Take a look at your preference flow and give some thought to how you react when you raise those energies that are going up or even lower some energies that might be pointing down. There is a lot to be learned about who we are and how we see ourselves doing the work that we do when we spend time focused on understanding our individual preference flows. Anything else you'd like to mention about your graphs, Linda?
Well, only that when I look at your low blue energy and my low blue energy, it's a wonder we can keep a roof over our head and the bills paid.